What's up? Welcome back to my channel, or for the first time if you're new, I'm Sylvan, and today I'm going to be reacting to Shunguang's character demo, Lightyear Phenomenon. Very interesting title. I'm curious to see what that is about. Obviously, based on the thumbnail here, it seems like we're going to be getting some stuff about this alternate side to her that we've gotten some glimpses of both in her animated short and the story itself, as well as the special program. And I'm very hopeful that we might see a bit more of what her deal is in this alternate form. Obviously, not all of the answers I expect to be here, but getting a little bit more of a taste of it would be very nice to me. But anyway, regardless of any of that, feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, leave a comment on your thoughts, consider becoming a channel member if you want to support me just that little bit extra, and let's get into this. I'm very curious to see what this shows us. Ooh. Okay. Countless swords and the Qingming sword above them all. Yeah. She does use a lot of swords.
And we must.
Ooh, the words of her brother. We must bear these burdens. Very... Ooh. 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 Calling out to us, okay. Still going on that, of course. Ooh, we're in some kind of disaster scenario, alright. What?
I finally found you. Are you
What
injured?
is happening?
Things aren't looking good. We have to get out of here. Come with me.
Okay. Don't know what the context is, but hell yeah, I love it already. They always give us some good fight scenes for the Void Hunters. Ooh, this perspective shot is really cool. I like that, I like that. Her while holding it, ooh, and then now the flying, hell yeah. Actually a little bit of us using our, like, powers while in an animated demo, holy shit. This feels like it's just a cutscene from the game. Holy shit. Hell yeah. Ooh, I'm loving where they're going with this. Just straight to action. The way she's like flying on the swords is great.
We make a good team.
Yeah, art. Wise's element in this is very interesting. I feel like this is an expression of the effect of the sword on her. But God, this looks good. Also, the music is interesting.
Find their weakness and strike!
I will protect you. I promise.
Comes back to that, protecting others.
The Qingming sword?
Yeah, don't lose yourself here. God. Uh-oh, we're in trouble. Can she save us? Ooh, there we go. Whoa. The way we like phase out occasionally very much feels like the loss of her memory. Is this where the other mode shows up? Where she can't handle something, it takes over? Ooh.
My memories are destined to
2D
fade.
elements.
I will recall each one. Those precious moments will catch me.
Out of the
In the
broken,
abyss.
shattering reality, she comes out.
Leave the rest to me.
Leave the rest to me. Okay. So she
This is
unlocks
my
the
last
sword.
time. Junior. Please, remember me.
Okay. The, like, not quite horn is really interesting design-wise. Ooh. The sheer energy of the sword here. And as we fade out, yeah, the loss of the memory. Holy shit! Just a few swords. Oh my god. I think you got him. Hell yeah. Ooh, into the 2D, hell yeah. Moments of mundanity, of togetherness that are being lost but are propelling her to do this. Yeah. Ooh, they're like tearing through reality, okay. Ooh, we've gotten some really good impact frames in here. Holy shit. Holy shit. And now it's even just the 2D here. blending of... oh my god. Visually, this is amazing.
Shunguang, you're awake.
Is this after we made it out?
How are you feeling? Do you still hurt anywhere?
She may not remember if she even got
I
hurt.
feel like I just had a really long dream.
Oh, okay. A really long dream. This is a really hype demo, all things considered. I was not wrong in saying that they really do come out for the fight scenes in the demos of the Void Hunters, or at least the Void Hunter level characters. There are a lot of fun shots in here, and it really is mostly the fight, but there are some interesting details in here as well. Starting from the beginning, the first visual we have is of the Qingming sword surrounded by other swords. The thing that defines Shunguang's character. The thing that enables her to protect others while also causing harm to herself. The thing that motivates those around her to try to help her. And then, as she enters this space and approaches the sword reaching out to it, towards this cruel destiny of sorts, the words of her brother echo in her mind. Some choices are burdens, and we must bear them. Which I began to mention in the actual reaction is a very intriguing line to bring up here. Her brother is someone who has desperately been trying to keep her from needing to truly bear the burden of the sword, find a way to free her from it. And yet, if we are to think that this is in her mind this line is echoing, she looks to the sword, to the choice of whether or not to use it to protect others, recognizing the burden that will be placed on her that she must bear if she is to draw the sword, and she reaches out to it. This once again speaks to this idea that was more properly introduced to us in her animated short, that she is willing to sacrifice herself to make this choice, to use this wording, bear that burden of loss of memory and senses and self, if it means protecting others. That is a choice she is willing to make because it is to protect those she cares about. But in the moments before she touches it, or perhaps when she makes contact, I believe Wise's voice calls out her name as he reaches out and puts a hand on her shoulder, trying to stop her perhaps. This beginning portion immediately encompasses just about everything we need to know about her character and her relationship to her brother and us. If it is to save her brother, if it is to save us, if it is to save anyone from Yunque Summit, she will draw the sword. That is a choice that she will make. She will bear that burden. But no one else wants her to make that choice. No one else wants her to sacrifice herself for us. We are all doing what we can to try to stop her from losing herself. It's the core of everything I've been talking about in her animated short, in her EP, in the bits of story we've gotten for her so far, all just encompassed in this first 20 seconds or so. But it's from here that we then pivot into this sudden disastrous moment. We're out in the middle of nowhere, seemingly in a hollow, where people are running and screaming, they're in danger, something catastrophic has happened and we were caught in the middle of it. The context of which is completely lost on us. Perhaps this is implying an event that we will see occur in the main story, but it also could just be an ambiguously non-real moment to express what Shunguang would do in this circumstance. And interestingly enough, mixed in here is these elements implying the befuddlement of her senses and of her memory and of her knowledge. Things around her distort and become fuzzy and discolored. Her voice distorts. And even here, when she grabs Wise's hand and runs with him, there's this brief moment where everything distorts again and we disappear, and she looks back to see where we went, only for by the time she looks forward again, we're still there, holding her hand, running forward. It's a very straightforward but interesting visually way to express this loss of sense and self and memory. She has these brief moments where she forgets what she's doing, why she's doing it, who she's pulling along with her. But they only last moments, and she is used to them enough that she just keeps going. We then have what is honestly one of my favorite sequences from the entire fight, where we are in Wise's perspective, following after Shunguang as she is pulling us along, fighting away all the ethereals, and almost even having a bit of fun at a certain point here. She almost sort of giggles and winks at us as she lets go of our hand so she can really go all out. It does a lot with its controlled perspective and shows off her prowess really well. It's also immediately prior to this that we see her effortlessly save with her various swords that she controls the various people who were caught in this as well. We then exit that controlled perspective though so that she can really let loose in the mobility of her power, and it's through here that we have several moments where they do something they've done before, which is just always really fun, where they do this sort of intentional limited frame rating of the motions of the characters, going more between key poses rather than just this smooth animation. It's a really stylish thing that they use just in these sparing moments that really, I think, adds to the style of what's going on. And the fight continues with Wise getting into a truck and driving away from wherever this disaster occurred. Shunguang overhead, flying along her swords, fighting off any ethereals who dare get close. And once again, throughout all of this, there is this certain joy she seems to be taking in this moment. Whether it is because she is fighting alongside us or just fighting in general, it seems like something about being able to actually show off her prowess, or actually just properly use her skills, or maybe it is just the act of protecting us that makes her happy in this moment. Though we do also begin to hear her getting out of breath. This is taking a lot of effort, but she is seemingly enjoying it, and even is remarking here in this moment of calm where she's sort of just hanging on to the car window that we make a good team. And it's very clear that Wise is sort of sharing in a bit of this, though he is far less physically capable and isn't necessarily doing nearly as much as her. It is shown that he is using his eyes, using his powers to some extent, and in all likelihood, if this is like in the middle of the hollow and they're trying to get out of one, probably is navigating their way out of the hollow and she's just following while defending. But then, despite almost enjoying this whole scenario, at least as much as she can, she's suddenly hit with these flashes of what feels like memories, which speaks to me as this feeling of these memories being pulled on, unraveled, trying to escape her as she tries to hold on to them. And once the battle picks up again after this, these distortions from the beginning don't let up. Though she is a very capable combatant, this feeling of missing memory, of distorted senses, continues to hamper her. And as she cuts into this non-space almost, this other existence where the Qingming sword is essentially held, it seems, she swears, she promises to protect Wise. Almost an assertion more to herself than him, reaffirming that she will not stop fighting no matter what happens. She, if necessary, will draw the blade proper to protect us. And in this moment of distraction in the middle of the fight as she glimpses the sword, everything goes to shit as an ethereal attacks the truck Wise is in, sending him flying. Outside of extenuating circumstances, it is something bound to leave Wise severely injured, if not dead. And even just based on the promise she made a few lines back, we know she will not allow this to happen. She knows in this moment that she cannot reach Wise if she does not draw the blade. She cannot save Wise if she does not sacrifice more of herself, more of her memories. And so we get this moment in 2D of all things, where these moments between Wise and Shunguang shatter and break. A clear representation of these memories fragmenting as she chooses to draw the sword. But interestingly enough, this is paired not with her saying that even if I lose these memories, it's okay because I will save you. It is a vow to not forget these memories. Even if they are destined to fade, I will recall each one. I will keep remembering them. I will not let them slip from my fingers. It's a defiance that matches with her desperation to hold on to her memories, but not with her seeming acceptance of her fate that we've seen from her animated short and EP. But it's here, as she reaches out and grabs the sword, doing the very thing that will make those memories fade, is when we get another of my favorite shots from the demo, as this shard of reality of memory overlays over her and the white-haired version reaches through. And what I find interesting here is, as this other self reaches out, which we mainly have seen in her animated short as this more selfish version of her as I described it, who questions why she's sacrificing herself, why she's using the sword to protect others when it destroys herself in the process, but notably, I will add, has only ever been witnessed by others while she is wielding the sword. And the reason I mention these contexts is because as this other one reaches out to wield the blade with her, we have the line from Shunguang, "Those pleasant memories will catch me in the abyss," which I think might be giving away the true identity of this other half to her. Perhaps it is not the more selfish side. Perhaps it is not just purely this less dutiful, more unreserved version of herself. Perhaps it is an embodiment of these memories she refuses to forget. If she herself does not have it in her to defy this fate and will continue to pick up the sword in spite of what it does to her, though Shunguang herself may not be able to defy the fate of the sword, defy the loss of her memory and self. As she states here, she believes that those memories will protect her, will guard against the abyss that she finds herself in. Which is why I bring up the fact that the only times, so far at least, we have seen this other version of her in the actual story so far, not in an inner space, has been when she is wielding the sword. It's as if this other self is an emotional buffer born out of the refusal to lose these memories that comes out when necessary to rebuff the effects of the sword almost. Though she cannot fully guard against it, this other self does act as somewhat of a filter, of a barrier. That, I think, might be very well on the money of what this other self is, or at least what they are doing, intentionally or otherwise. Though it very easily could be more complicated than that. But with that in mind, as she unsheaths the Qingming sword, unleashing this other aspect of her to perhaps buffer her from it, she gives out a plea to Wise. If this is my last time, if I do lose myself in using the sword here to save you, please remember me. Even if I cannot remember you, I hope you shall remember me. And then from here, we just have the true epitome of the power of the Qingming sword in her hands shown to us. This other space that once held the Qingming sword, now unleashed on the world, encapsulates and traps all of these ethereals that were chasing after Wise, in a space that none of them can escape the literal hundreds of blades summoned to end them. This is what it means to wield the Qingming sword. There is this incomprehensibly dominant power that it can unleash in the right hands, but it at the same time erases the memories, erases the bonds. We have intercut with this moment of absolute power and force and dominance, the fading of these memories of her time with Wise. And from here, we have this absurdly massive blow coming from Shunguang, now in 2D, literally cutting through reality, once again intercut with these memories of her time with Wise. This time, notably though, not fading, which speaks to me the idea that the first set in the 3D version of things was showing the cost, showing the fading of that bond, of that memory, where here, with the striking of this blow, is showing why she is swinging the sword, why she wields the blade. It's the cruel irony of the reason she does this is because of the bond that the sword makes her lose. And in these moments it's flashing back to of her time with Wise, once again we can pick out several of them as being things we had in the one event where we practically were going on dates with her. There's the movie we have here, there's the moment with the scratch cards just before this, that kind of thing. And after that we witness the devastation caused by this blade strike, just obliterating all of the ethereals, before cutting to this moment where she wakes up after the fact. Wise having evidently gotten them out of the hollow and back to Yongque's summit, where he then waited for her to recover. And when asked if she is okay, she simply responds that it feels like she's woken up from a long dream, which in one sense could be a showing of her loss of memory, that even this recent event has already become hazy in her mind. It alternatively could be a sign of what handing over control to this other side of her looks like. She isn't really cognizant of entirely what she does at the time, though I'm pretty sure that one isn't the case, because she at the very least claimed to remember everything that happened in the main story when she drew the sword and turned into the other version. But the third option is perhaps an interesting one. To wake up from a long dream can sometimes be interpreted in this idea of coming to your senses, seeing things clearly after a long time of not. It perhaps could be said that in drawing the sword in that moment to save Wise, and then waking up to see that he was waiting next to her bedside, worried that she wasn't going to be okay, that she comes to understand why she draws the blade even further than she did. Or perhaps why she shouldn't, if she sees how much we worry about her and isn't happy with that, doesn't want us to worry about her so much. There's a lot of ways you could take it, but I feel like it is possible that there is some merit to that idea of her coming to her senses or coming to a realization. But I feel like any one concrete interpretation that I've offered, none of them are quite right. I feel like it's a mix of things. And actually, right before the end of the demo, as she's saying the line about the dream, you have this visual I didn't quite pick up on of these two birds flying by the window, one black followed by a white one. I feel like there has to be meaning in that. And I feel like there's a few different things it could be. One could be that the dark colored bird is her, followed behind by Wise/us, but perhaps I think it alternatively could be the two sides of Shunguang. Inevitably, just coloration-wise, I would associate the darker one with normal Shunguang and the lighter one with the white-haired version of her, which if I were to associate those two with that, it perhaps is that her white-haired version, that other aspect to her, follows behind her, watching her, trying to make sure she does not falter or lose her way. But I feel like there could be argued an interpretation of it being the other way, though it doesn't as line up with the coloration. It doesn't perfectly line up either way, so this may not even be valid, but hey, I like just some arbitrary analysis sometimes, believe it or not. If it's the other way around, then it is this other version of her who guides her forward. Though this version has white hair, perhaps it is the dark one because it is almost her shadow, this reflection of her that is carefully and secretly guiding and protecting her, making sure she follows it along a path where she will not lose herself. That's also a possibility. And it of course could be countless of other things, and it of course could have no meaning. It might just be a white and a black bird flying across the screen, but I like to think it could be more. But that then is the end of the demo, and ultimately the end on most of my thoughts, I'd say. A lot of this was just really cool fighting, which of course I've touched on to an extent, with a little bit of meaty content to it. But with that, I think I've really said all I want to say about it at this moment, so feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment on your thoughts, and very special thanks to all of my channel members, including Amorphosilica, Desaize, and Pokelove101 at the normal tier, and Kondo Nano at the cool person tier. Really appreciate your support, as always, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye!